In the last 24 hours, Nigeria internet space do almost the catch fire. After the governor of Anambra State, His Excellency, Professor Charles Soludo, some people dey verse for me for comment section and even for DM. Say man, I know they call him Professor. As one of our Igbo brothers rightly said, he said, if not for education, say that professor, that man will be professor, supposed to be wishes and wizard. You know what I mean? So, but all the same, the governor of Anambra State, while on a campaign tour in Anambra South, all the way in Anambra State, made a statement which many have described as an unintelligent statement, a bittering statement to the camps of the opposition. According to the governor, he maintained that anybody promising you to govern for one term, that such a person or such group of persons should be taken in for psychiatric evaluation.
Now, after anybody who is contesting for governorship from Anambra South is Onabayala, is trying to disrupt the zoning system in Anambra. Some of them want to come to lie to us. How can anybody with brain, you think you are talking to fools? You come to people and say, I will do only one term. Anybody, any politician who said that must be sent to a psychiatric home.
After the governor threw this bomb into the camp of the opposition, now so the dragging started. Many assumed, as always, that Professor Charles Soludo was sending this indirect attack to His Excellency, Mr. Gregory Peter Obi. Why I said as always is because we have documented evidence of unprovoked attack from this same governor against his own brother, His Excellency, Mr. Gregory Peter Obi. So many assumed he was indirectly, yabbing or sending this very careless, unintelligent, statement against Peter Obi. And since then, many have called him names, and the opposition, as usual, have gone to his Facebook handle, Twitter handle, to call him a failed governor who does not understand the importance of brotherhood. Similarly, Peter Obi in his own way has gone further to send a very detailed response to that very indirect attack from the governor of Anambra State. But before we dive into the response of Mr. Peter Obi, which is truly encompassing, you know what I mean? I made a little more digging into that very statement of the governor, and I realized also that Soludo may have intentionally or unintentionally be referring to Peter Obi as well. But for a fact, there is a governorship aspirant, a governorship candidate from Anambra South. His name is Nwosu John, who hails from ADC political party, African Democratic Congress. This man is one of the political opponents to Professor Charles Soludo in Anambra State, who is gearing forward for the next gubernatorial election. And he has gone further to promise the people of Anambra State that if elected as the next governor of the state, that he's just going to do only but for one term. In his own word, he said it will be an act of determined dedication and fairness to serve just for one term in order also to respect the zoning formula in Anambra State. So for a fact, there is a standing statement from one of the opposition governorship aspirants in Anambra State who actually made that statement that he is interested only in one term. But as always, many believed that Professor Charles Soludo was not just sending that bittering statement to this governorship aspirant, but also indirectly attacking Peter Obi, as we have seen over time, because it is now a norm for him. So for the benefit of doubt, this is the governorship aspirant that I am talking about. Listen to him.
My name is John Chumamosu. I am running for governorship of Anambra State under ADC, African Democratic Congress. My agenda for good governance are security, health, education, economy, environment, market, and social welfare. Vote for ADC, African Democratic Congress. Thank you.
And one of the reasons why you would also believe that it could be, in reality, an intentional attack, not only to the governorship aspirant in Anambra State, but as well as to Peter Obi, is because you know that Peter Obi supports the ADC coalition. Yes. So obviously, Peter Obi is in the camp of the opposition, of Professor Charles Soludo. And I think Peter Obi has also visited Anambra State, some time ago, where this governorship aspirant had some, engagement with Peter Obi and some other stakeholders of the coalition. So it could also mean for a fact that Soludo was not just attacking the governorship aspirant, but also attacking Peter Obi as always. Now, according to Peter Obi, he maintained, "My one-term, 4-year vow is sacrosanct." One of the greatest American presidents, Abraham Lincoln, served only 4 years, yet his legacy endures as a model of principled leadership. Another iconic figure, John F. Kennedy, did not even complete a full term. Yet his vision and ideals continue to inspire generations. In Africa, Nelson Mandela, revered globally as a symbol of justice and reconciliation, chose to serve only one term as president of South Africa. Despite immense public pressure to stay longer, his decision was a deliberate act of leadership, a statement that power must serve the people, not the self. Indeed, history shows that the longer many African leaders remain in power, the more likely they are to be corrupted by it. Longevity in office is not a mark of success, rather, it is purposeful, accountable service, however brief, that defines true statesmanship. It is within this context that I reiterate my vow. I will serve only one term of 4 years if elected president, and that vow is sacrosanct. I am fully aware that the decay in our society has made trust one of the scarcest and most skeptical viewed commodities. Many Nigerians, understandably, no longer take politicians at their word. But even in the climate of cynicism, there are still a few whose actions have matched their words, whose integrity is built on verifiable precedent. Recently, I became aware of 2 statements aimed, albeit indirectly, at my vow to serve only a single 4-year term. One person remarked that even if I swore by a shrine, I still wouldn't be believed. Another suggested that anyone talking about doing only one term should undergo psychiatric evaluation. I understand the basis of their skepticism. They are judging me by their own standards, where political promises are made to be broken, but they forget, or perhaps choose to ignore, that Peter Obi is not cut from that cloth. Hi, Bala. I have a verifiable track record that speaks louder than speculation. In my political life, my word is my bond. When I entered politics in Anambra State, I made clear and measurable promises to the people to improve education and health care, to open up rural areas through road construction, and to manage public funds with prudence. I fulfilled each of those promises without deviation. I did not swear by a shrine, nor have I been certified mentally unstable as a result of honoring my word. My vow to serve only one term of 4 years is a solemn commitment rooted in my conviction that purposeful, transparent leadership does not require an eternity. This one sweet me. If making such a promise qualifies me for psychiatric evaluation, then we may as well question the mental fitness of those who framed our constitution, which clearly stipulates a 4-year renewable term. Peter Obi is super intelligent. I maintain without equivocation, if elected, I will not spend a day longer than 4 years in office. In fact, I believe that service should be impactful, not eternal. We must rebuild trust in our country. I have dedicated my public life to demonstrating that leadership with integrity is not a myth. I have done it before, and I do not intend to betray that trust under my circumstances. 48 months is enough for any leader who is focused and prepared to make a meaningful difference in that time. I intend not merely to make an impression, but to deliver on concrete promises to the following: sanitize our government system, tackle insecurity through effective and accountable use of national resources, prioritize education, healthcare, and poverty alleviation, catalyze small businesses as energies of growth, and combat corruption with unflinching resolve. Above all, I will dedicate myself to transforming Nigeria from a consuming nation to a productive one, where agriculture, technology, and manufacturing replace rent-seeking and waste as our national anchors. These are not utopian dreams. They are realistic, actionable goals that are achievable within 4 years. A new Nigeria is possible.
Today, I want to declare without equivocation. Sorry, please.
Declare.
Hey, in my entire life, I have not seen a man that is as consistent as Peter Obi. You know, the Igbos in their wisdom, there is a bird that we call the okele. Okele is a bird. The Igbos in one of their adages says that, na okele, no okwu ụtụtụ ya bụ okwu mgbede ya. This bird, whatever he says in the morning, is what he says in the evening. Peter Obi has remained utterly consistent and adamant to what he believes in. You see, one of the things I found very interesting from this very response of Peter Obi is that Peter Obi has never failed to anchor or bring into clarity the picture of the new Nigeria he wants to build. And that picture of a new Nigeria is always encapsulated in one of the world-class measuring standards for development in a nation. And that is HDI, Human Development Index. If you listen carefully to the statement of Peter Obi, what he intends to do as a president, what he has done in Anambra State, you know, working, fighting insecurity, pulling people out of poverty, investment in education, and investment in healthcare system. Unfortunately, many Nigerians do not understand what HDI even means and how the world uses that very index for measuring development in a nation. HDI, Human Development Index, is a world-class universal index that measures the overall country's achievement under 3 basic, dimensions of human development. And these very 3 dimensions captures education, health, and income. Yes. So under health measures life expectancy, which gives you the overall well-being of every nation. When you talk about education, it talks about opportunities. How many opportunities that is available for people to pass through school, the number of years people spend in school, and other, parameters under that. Now, when you talk about income, it talks about the standard of living. So this is where you always hear Peter Obi talk about pulling people out of poverty. And if you measure Peter Obi by this standard, you will see that Peter Obi performed excellently well in Anambra State. Yes, the index, fact and figures are there. Peter Obi, first of all, pulled Anambra State from position number 24 to position number 1, and it was consecutive for 3 years. In fact, Anambra State was declared the safest state in Nigeria in the year 2012. So, when Peter Obi speaks, Nigerians who are bigotry, who are ethnic bigots, and those who have chosen to see this country completely destroyed, exactly those who are benefiting from the corrupt system, they don't want to listen. They think that building flyovers, building bridges is what makes a country great. No, it is not. If you go to America today, if you go to a particular state, for example, a particular locality, in most cases, you may not see very big hospitals, but you see clinics, you see small hospitals, you see a lot of them available. What does that tell you? It gives people opportunity, access to good medical care, which is an indication that that locality, that country is actually doing very well. But people often think in Nigeria that until you begin to build conference centers, big bridges and all of that, that is when the country is developing. I've always said it. All these big projects are what politicians use in looting money. White Elephant Project. If many Nigerians have not been deprived of quality education, if many Nigerians have been opportune to attain the level of education that is necessary, many will understand that Peter Obi is actually the solution. Peter Obi is actually the prayer answer that we've been looking for in this country, Nigeria. Because he has the, the parameters. He has the statistics, and he has done it before, and he will eventually do it again. Above all, Peter Obi will lay a new foundation of due process in Nigeria. So whether 4 years or 1 month, in fact, I know that even in 1 month in office as a president of this country, the dead will rise to bear witness, that Nigeria is on a trajectory of peace, due process, and prosperity. And I sincerely hope that that day will come. Well, I sincerely hope that at the end of the day, that this video and the message Peter Obi dropped get to Professor Charles Soludo, so that he will learn some beautiful lessons from Peter Obi, because oftentimes many have wondered if truly he's a professor of economics. Yes, he is busy attacking Peter Obi and all of that. That Peter Obi's brewery that he brought into Anambra State is worth to nothing. He said from one side of the mouth to another side of the mouth. The other day he said it is worth to nothing. Not until when the issue of taxing came up, and then he revealed that the same brewery ranks number 6 for countries that are paying the larger, bulk of tax in Anambra State. And if you remove every other from 1 to 5, which are all banks, you will see that Soludo himself is still collecting tax from this same company that Peter Obi brought to Anambra State in 2012. That was when we had the largest foreign direct investment in Nigeria at the state level. $120 million was the investment that came in from Sabmiller, and Anambra State has a stake of 10% in it. And that was a company Soludo said it is worth to nothing. Today, he's still collecting tax from that company. He's yet to build a cassava processing plant in Anambra State that will employ the number of people that Sabmiller, currently called International Breweries, has actually employed. For the records, I worked at Sabmiller as a packaging specialist, before I left the country. So I know what I'm talking about. I know the number of people that were employed in that, So Peter Obi is a rare gem which must be cherished in Nigeria. I mean, there is no standard comparison. There is no need to compare Peter Obi with Soludo. It will be an insult. Whether he's a professor or not, we are here to see the professionalism in him, the conduct as a professor, and let alone talking about landmark achievement matching with that of Peter Obi. We are here to see that. But all the same, live and let live has always been my principle. I sincerely hope that Nigerians will realize before it is too late that Peter Obi is whom we actually need to move this country forward from consumption to production. As you watch this video, don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section, and share this video. May another person see him. God bless you.